What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I have another clip to show you guys today about the shooting, and I'm going to continue to show you guys these clips. I know these videos don't do as well as some of the other videos I post, so if you're watching this and you appreciate this, please like the video and then also share this with your family and friends. I just think this is interesting. It's something that we need to be talking about because everyone is watching this, okay? Everyone. I say everyone, I mean everyone around the world is watching how we handled this situation. And I think we can all agree that there were some failures there, okay, and that there were some things that hopefully the Secret Service can learn from, law enforcement can learn from. And so I'm showing these videos to talk about it, and then hopefully we will see some change. And in some situations, you might feel like everything is okay, we're all safe, and there's no problems. And then when you look at stuff like this, you're thinking, wow, this is crazy. Okay, so I'm going to show you this video. This is just the planning, okay? And just understand this. When they're doing these rallies, okay, now I've never been, I've never worked a rally, okay? I've worked events, and I was in law enforcement, so I worked events before, but I've never worked a rally. But I would imagine they're out there planning, and they plan early. Okay, because even when we did an event, let's say, and I used to do it, we used to do one event every year, and then we'd volunteer at some other agencies to do different events. But the event that we did every year, we would plan for that, and it would be a couple weeks where we're planning and just looking at, where's the command post going to be, where, how are we going to handle different situations, how many people are actually going to be there. And I was working out of a local police agency, but I worked for the county, and so I would talk to my coworkers and say, hey, do you guys want to volunteer? So, and when I say volunteer, you would get paid, but you come out and work these events. And so you have all these different agencies, and some agencies, they'll say, okay, you're going to be designated to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. And so I can see how this can be chaotic. But one of the things is, and hopefully they did this, you brief before the event. And so all of the agencies come into the same room. You will have someone, and in this case, I would imagine it would be the Secret Service, that would go over all the assignments, where people need to be, and then they would go over contingencies and how things, if something gets out of hand, this is how we're going to handle it, and this is what we're going to need from you, and this is what we're going to need from you. So all of that. But in this video clip that I'm going to show you, they couldn't get the fence open. And so you would think, okay, a fence, they probably would have a place where you can open the fence up, to have a lock. You know how fences are. You have a lock. You just open it up, and then you can drive vehicles through or have people go through or what have you. Well, in this situation, they were panicking. Law enforcement was panicking because they couldn't get the gate open. And so you'll see what happens here. They'll actually have a vehicle that actually knocks the fence down just so people can get through. And what I'm thinking, this is outside of the perimeter, or actually they're inside of the perimeter in the video, and they're trying to get outside the perimeter so they can get over to the shooter. And this was after, I think, after the shooter was down. And so they were trying to get over there to secure the scene and all of that. And so let me show you guys the clip first, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Hit it like you mean it.
Okay, so there's a situation there. You saw that fence would open. I'm sure there was a lock on that fence somewhere, but no one had the key, or the people that were there didn't have the key. So this is another situation where it's like, okay, the person there should have been someone in front of that gate. They should have been the one that had the key and was able to open it. But for whatever reason, that wasn't the case. So things do get crazy. Okay, and I've been in a few situations, nothing like this. Okay, but when things hit the fan, things do get a little crazy. You might have had someone that was there at that point, that was watching that gate. They might have taken off to the area over there where they heard shots fired. So that could have been the situation. But there's going to be a lot of investigations going on when it comes to this, and we'll see what happens. And I want, like I said, I want to follow this because, for one, this should have never happened. In my opinion, I think we're starting to see that this individual, they had already looked at this individual, because I think the individual was trying to get into, or actually got into the perimeter and he had a scope. He didn't have a gun, but he had a scope. And so they thought that was weird. And then he left the perimeter, and so they were looking for him. And then I saw some other videos where they were talking about the fact that they think it was like 30 minutes where they were kind of looking around for him. And so there was plenty of time for them to find him. But for whatever reason, they weren't able to. And he was able to get on that roof. But I would think even at that point where they were suspicious, and there are a lot of suspicious people, okay? We would get calls all the time on suspicious people. There's one funny story, and I'll tell you guys this, and then we'll go. But we were working in operations, undercover. Okay, so we were plain clothes. We didn't have we didn't have anything that signified that we were in law enforcement. And we were just meeting up, and we were going to talk about a surveillance that we were going to be doing in the city. And so we were going to do the surveillance later on in a few hours. So we said, you know what? Hey, let's all go get lunch, and then we'll come back, and then we'll start the surveillance. Okay, and there's probably about 10 or 11 of us. Okay, and so we left in different vehicles, and when we were out, we were actually on our way back. So this is probably about an hour and a half after we initially met. So we're on our way back, and we have the radios to the city. Okay, so we're on the same channel, so we can hear everything that's going on in the city. But we were working with other agencies that were outside agencies, and so their radios would not work in our city. So they wouldn't be able to hear us. Okay, and so they have a radio called Talk Around. Talk Around. If you're relatively close, you can talk with anyone that's around you. But if you're on the regular channel, they're not going to be able to hear that channel. And so anyway, we hear a call on the radio, and the dispatch is saying that there's a suspicious suspect in the area. They have an assault rifle. And what I thought was really funny is they have an assault rifle. They're in plain clothes. They have an assault rifle, and they have a police vest, a tactical vest, over their shoulder. And they're putting stuff in the back of a vehicle. And it's an unmarked vehicle, right? And so we hear that, and this is in the area where we initially met. And we were meeting behind it was like a shopping mall, okay, like a shopping strip, not even like a full-on mall, but just, a few stores and stuff like that. So someone from one of the stores, they called it in. And so we immediately get on the radio and say, hey, no, that's, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. That's not, that's something else. It's not that. And usually we will tell dispatch anyway, look, we're going to be meeting here. We're going to be talking about some stuff. We're going to be doing an operation, whatever. And so, but you get, what I'm getting to here is you get the suspicious suspects all the time. You'll get those calls all the time. And so in this situation, they did know that there was someone out there that was suspicious, and they were looking into it, but they weren't able to figure it out in time, obviously. So I want to know what you guys think about it. What do you guys think about the video? Obviously, in situations like this, everyone's everyone's amped up. Okay, adrenaline is running, flowing. They're looking. Where's the key? Where's the key? Oh, I thought you had the key. I thought you had the key. And there's like, you know what? Let's just run the vehicle through it and get everybody so they can get out. And and go and stop the threat or see what's where they are with that at that point. So anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know your comments below. Like and subscribe. Talk to you in the next one. Bye.